The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets trading up for the number one pick in the draft. That's the latest mock from ESPN's Field Yates. We'll break down that. Plus, the Brady Cook era might be starting on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jeff Parles will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Guys, we always say this, and it's always going to be pretty. I got one game ball.
Let's keep it going next week.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Before we get started, smash the like button. That's the thumbs up icon. And make sure, if you haven't, you go right over there and you hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel continue to grow. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, and we say hello right now to our guy, Jeff Parles, in his weekly Wednesday spot. Jeff, life as a Met Jet fan has not been too fun the last couple of days, so my condolences on the Alonso and Edwin Diaz news in back-to-back days.
Yeah, the DS one is significantly more agitating than what happened today. I figured Pete wasn't coming back after the train wreck that was the last 2 months of last season as a whole. But, you know, it's never a good thing when I see myself agreeing with Frank the Tank on Mets-related things. And I am agreed with him more in the last 48 hours than I probably have in the last 5 years. And that's never a good sign for the Mets if that's the case.
Frank the Tank and Jeff Parles seeing eye to eye on things.
Not good. That is not good for the Mets if that's the case.
Well, we got a lot to talk about with the Jets. We're going to talk about this mock draft that I think is certainly intriguing if the Jets and the Giants, oh, by the way, are making a big trade. But we'll start with some actual Jets news. Adrian Martinez is back. Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields both did not practice today. Brady Cook, according to Aaron Glenn, is going to get all the first-team reps, and they re-signed Adrian Martinez to the practice squad for some QB insurance, but all signs point to Cook making his first full start Sunday against the Jaguars. Jeff, from one Mizzou man to another, give us your reaction to the Brady Cook era potentially starting Sunday in Jacksonville.
This is spectacular for my Jaguars to win the AFC South ticket, Jake. That's all I know. So just throwing that out there. You know, all things considered, remember we talked about this for weeks when the season was already lost, where Brady Cook playing as much as possible in December is not a terrible thing. And look, for the most part, he was terrible in that game against Miami. And look, a UDFA who had been activated to the roster for the first time with no practice with the ones against a defense that, look, Miami's, again, I still don't think the Dolphins are any good, but they've been much better the last 6 weeks. You kind of expected that, right? Like for a UDFA to look bad against the defense that could rush the passer. And he made a few good throws mixed in there. The one down the sideline that got the PI was a really good throw. He made another good one to Adonai that he couldn't make the play on. All things considered, whatever it is, what it was. I would love it if Brady Cook started again. Justin Fields does not need to play another game for this team. Doesn't need to play another game. There's no point. He's not coming. It's pretty beyond evident at this point that the Jets are not going to bother with him and take the dead cap next year. And what's the point of putting Tyrod back there if he's not 100%? Like, there's no point. So I know we were saying evaluate the other receivers, but you know what? I think we have a read on what Adonai Mitchell is at this point, right? Like, the guy can get open. It's a coin flip if he catches the ball. And when he catches the ball, he has the ability to make a lot of big plays. John Mechie is a number 4, number 5 wide receiver in this league who had the last 2 weeks, Mechie's had 2 horrific drops that cost the Jets touchdowns in both of those games. Garrett shouldn't play again this year, so who cares? Like, doesn't matter. Like, and we already know, like, I don't care what Brees does the last month of the year. The Jets should bring Brees back. Like, they should pay him and bring him back and build around the offense. So, no problem. And Jake, losing these remaining games is only, and look, if they beat New Orleans or somehow beat pull a monster upset in one of the last 2 games, they're not winning this week. They're going to get clobbered this week. Jacksonville's playing great. Jacksonville's defense is going to turn Cook over multiple times, and the Jets can't catch an interception. So Lawrence turning the ball over is just not going to happen. So, look, I'm fine with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Let Brady Cook play. Like, let him play. If they lose the last 4 games, it's fine. You are going to at least give yourself an opportunity where the Jets have a game against Tennessee, against New Orleans. The Saints play the Titans also. The Giants and the Raiders play each other later this month. The Giants have a game against the Commanders this week. Like, it's not out of play that the Jets could still move all the way up into the top 2 on their own laurels and not have to trade any of the assets. So
and that's really the key, Jeff, right? Like, how far to the top of the draft can the Jets get where they would and minimum?
Really, at this point, Jake, the Raiders are so bad at this point. Like of all the Giants have shown a pulse. They just can't find a way to win a game. And I think they'll win one down the stretch. The Titans, Cam Ward actually looked a lot better this past week against a really good defense. So, and Tony Pollard rushed for a zillion yards. So, it's the Jets actually play the Jets losing close competitive games down the stretch where 3 of their games are against playoff teams is totally fine with me. And the best way to accomplish that is Brady Cook playing the last 4, or even if you want to see if Adrian Martinez, I know Adrian Martinez has been around a lot longer in the league than Cook, but if Cook stinks it up the next 2 weeks and you want to see if Adrian Martinez is worth having on your roster next year, I don't mind him playing against being a sacrificial lamb almost against New England and Buffalo. I don't mind. The 2 veterans shouldn't play again this year, period. Shouldn't play again. So it's fine, man. I feel a lot more cheery than I should after what was arguably the worst 10 minutes the Jets have played all year in that first quarter, which is an accomplishment because there's been a lot of bad 10-minute stretches this year for this team.
They should absolutely be losing these games, Jeff. It's in the best interest of their franchise. So
close competitive losses down the stretch where the defense plays well. How about catch an interception? They had 5 last week. They could have picked off 2 and just didn't catch the ball.
At this point, I don't even want them to get an interception.
You just want them historic.
I want Steve Wilks.
And then the first play of week 1 next year, they'll have a pick 6. That's how it works, right, Jake?
I want Steve Wilks to have to wear the fact that his team is about to set an NFL record that will never be broken. 17 games, 0 interceptions.
Yeah,
that's what I want, because I hate this team, Jeff. I really do. I hate most players on this team. Most of the I'm disgusted with the 2025 Jets. So don't win any more games. Finish 3-14 and give yourself every opportunity to get a quarterback. Whether you have to trade up, it's easier to trade up from 3-1 than it is from 7-1. And we're going to get to the Field Yates mock draft in a minute. But the other thing I wanted to bring up with you, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Glenn saying his practice window is not yet to be open. Glenn's reiterated that they're going to see what the doctors say. Look, there's no reason to bring back Garrett Wilson at this point. He should be shut down for the rest of the season.
Oh, it's not even a debate. No reason to bring him back. Just sit it out, bring him back week 1, 2026 with whoever the new quarterback is. No problem. Just don't bother. No point. There's no point. There's no point in putting them out there. And you're playing, for the last 2 weeks of the year, you're playing Buffalo and New England, who, Jake, if the Bills beat the Patriots this week, both of those teams are actually playing their guys the last 2 weeks because the AFC East will still somewhat be alive. So, no way you should play. No way.
It's not worth it. You're 3-10. We know what Garrett Wilson is. He's a star number 1 receiver. Keep him healthy for next year. And
Jake, the Jets they finally have completed a year where they were bad enough to get the last place schedule next year too. That's an underrated fact of what ended up happening here this year. They have been just not bad enough the last few years to get the last place schedule. Now they will get the last place schedule with look, a beast offensive line, Garrett Wilson healthy, Breece Hall hopefully back, and hopefully a top flight quarterback. And look, you at least give yourself a shot when you're not quite there yet against a bad schedule. I mean, Jesus, look at New England this year. And I'm not saying the Jets are going to be the Patriots next year like the Patriots are this year, but like you at least give yourself an opportunity to overachieve when you have the last place schedule. And that is good. Like that loss to Miami that last week was big in that regard. They're not catching the Dolphins.
No. And look, I was someone who like wanted to see improvement this year when they were 0-7. You wanted to find out more about Glenn as a head coach and some of the other players on this team. But it all goes out the window when you no-show the way they did Sunday against Miami. You know, like all this progress we could highlight. You didn't make any progress if against a division opponent, you come out before you can get comfortable on the couch and you're down 21-0.
Yeah, it was and the biggest shame of this year is they wasted an all-time special teams unit. I mean, Chris Banjo has just been so good.
Great.
First-time coordinator too. Like incredible what Banjo has done. And look at especially the kicker position. Like McNamara is going to be good long-term. He'll bring Wanwu back and Williams back is going to be in the cards. You would imagine as your primary kick and punt returners. Just a matter of does Nick Folk have it still in the tank next year if he comes back. So yeah, look, I'm with you. It was, I mean, I was out at the Westgate Superbook and the Jets are on a auxiliary portion of the screen. And like you said, before you got comfortable with it, before you even had beer two for most folks, it was 21-0 already. So yeah. And I'm with you. Like, that's what I want to see this last month. Last 4 games. Like you're playing 3 teams that are going to the playoffs. Realistically speaking, you're playing 3 teams that are going to the playoffs. Be of the last 4 games. If you get clocked in one of these games, it's fine. But you got to be competitive in the New Orleans game, and you got to be competitive in the other 2 games. Whether you're competitive this week against Jacksonville and New England and get clocked by Buffalo the last week, or like any combination of these last 4 games, you better be competitive in 3 of them. And if you lose them, no harm, no foul. You just keep moving up the draft board.
But even if they're not competitive, right? Like, what does that really mean? Like, Glenn's not going anywhere. Like,
no, but Jake, here's the one thing in the NFL that I think a lot of casuals don't understand when it comes to tanking. Like, you got to show me, and look, you can reinvent the roster even more than you already were going to this upcoming offseason. But how about a bunch of guys who are like fringe to make the team or have contracts expiring? Show me that you deserve to play in this league. Like, especially on the defense. Like, we know what the offense is going to be at this point with Brady Cook. Like, the O-line, like, really the only question at this point for the offensive line next year is, what do you do with Josh Myers? And do you bring on Vera Tucker back on a proven deal, right? Like, those are the only questions on the offense at this point, on the offensive line. The rest of the offense, I don't think your answers are realistically on the roster at this point, other than do you bring Breece Hall back? I think the answer is yes. Mitchell clearly has a spot on this roster, and I don't mind having Mechie on this roster moving forward as an auxiliary piece that can slide in if you have injuries. The tight ends, obviously Mason Taylor's going to hopefully improve, but like, show me it on the defense. Like, I actually thought there was a little bit of a room of improvement up until that first quarter of what the defense had done out of the bye week. Like, I actually thought there'd been a little bit of an improvement. And you know what? I will say this. I don't think it's a coincidence that this defense has sucked when McCrary Ball's been on the field defensively. I don't think it's been a coincidence that this defense has been its worst when you have a guy who's a special teamer playing a lot in your linebacker position. Like, he's the one guy, like, and boy, looking back at the Jets captains this year is beyond hilarious how badly they did with that. But like, McCrary Ball should not be on this team next year. Like, for a guy who's made it on the team the whole year, he's been the worst player on the Jets, period. Like, he has been so bad. I don't want to be attacking a guy who's actually a reasonable story through his career, but he has been so bad in that defense. And I mean, that freaking 15-yard penalty you had against Miami, this was a joke. It was a joke. What are you doing?
Right. The one against Atlanta, you mean, when he's like,
oh, yeah, sorry.
The seizure celebration.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It just, he has been so bad this year, Jake. Like, if we're talking about guys that shouldn't be on the roster for effort or just horrible play, he's a guy who should not be back next year. Or if you bring him back, just put him on the special teams unit where he's actually a competent player earlier in his career.
I mean, look, the defense has been a nightmare, and Steve Wilkes should pay the price for it ultimately. I mean, you had 8 of your 11 starters back year over year. They're the ones who paid Stevens. They're the ones who paid Cisco. They're the ones who brought back Adams and kept Clemens. And, obviously
Stevens has been fine though after the first 3 weeks. Like,
but again, who on this team has gotten better defensively this year? Like, there's no one. Jawan Briggs. That's about it. Like McDonald,
Briggs, and I think Moore has gotten better as the years gone along.
It's not enough. Like Steve Wilkes.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm not disagreeing with you, but like if we're just pointing guys who've gotten better, like it's Briggs and it's Moore. That's it.
And again. There's no
AZ's actually gotten a little bit better as the year's gone along when he's been on the field.
And when he plays, that's a huge problem. I mean, it's so disappointing because this was an elite defense 2 years ago. And now you go into the offseason and you need a new DC and you have a ton of major holes defensively to fill.
Again, that's why I said what I said after the trade deadline. Go build this thing through offense. Build it through offense. It's 2026 next year. Build it through your offense. What the Texans are doing is not sustainable long term if their offense doesn't get going. Like look at the rest of the league. Like the Rams have the best offense in football. Like the reason they're the best team in the NFL. They're the best offensive football, and they have a defense that I think is about mid-tier that happens to be playing at a top 10 level. And again, I know they have a real coach, but you get what I'm saying, though, Jake. Like, build the damn thing around offense and hope the rookie you draft in this upcoming draft turns into a real top 10 quarterback, which you never know. You never know. You never know, like, what can happen. Like, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, like, you never know. Like, they could suck or they could be great. We don't know, Jake.
The ultimate crapshoot. All right, we're going to get to the mock draft in a moment. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Jeff, you're out in Vegas. You handicap games as part of your job out there. Break down Jets, Jags. If you're betting on this game, what's the approach? If you're going to bet
Jags by a lot. Jags by a lot.
So you're laying the 12.5 here.
There's a lot of points to be laying with an untrustworthy team, even though I think that I've been much higher on Jacksonville than seemingly everybody, Jake. About a month ago, I said they're going to win the AFC South and they might even make the Super Bowl by accident because the AFC is so ridiculous at this point. I think this is a total destruction because the Jets don't force turnovers. Like the way you stay in against Jacksonville is you force turnovers. Jets don't force turnovers. So they're going to get clobbered. This is going to be clobbering. This is going to be like 35-7, 35-6, something in that pocket, Jake.
Wow. No faith in fellow Mizzou man Brady Cook.
They're going to get the defense is going to get clocked in this game too. Like, and Jacksonville's defense is one of the odder units in the NFL, Jake, because they force a ton of turnovers and they give up a ton of yards. I don't know how good they really are, but when they're forcing turnovers, they're the only defense in the AFC that I think can compete with Denver and Houston in the AFC. So we'll see.
I wouldn't be mad. Again, I'm at a point now. They lost me after that Miami performance, so I'm all about finishing 3-14 and having to give up less than any trade up.
Yeah,
is a perfect segue to the Field Yates mock draft over on ESPN.com today. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because it's time to break that down. Mock draft features the current draft order. So right now the Jets are at pick 7. And it means the New York Giants own the number 1 pick. So we got some Big Apple fireworks here in the mock. Field has the Jets swinging a deal with the New York Giants. In this mock draft trade, the Jets would send both of their first-round picks. That'd be pick 7 and the Colts pick they got in the Sauce deal this year, which right now is pick 18, and a day 2 pick to the Giants for the top selection. Now, it's worth noting the Jets don't have a 3rd-round pick, so the day 2 selection is one of the Jets' 2nd-round picks. And I'll come out and say it. If this is the cost to move up from 7 to 1, I'm certainly willing to do it. I think you made the deal with Sauce and Quinnen to get extra picks for something like this to emerge. And if you have conviction in the guy you're drafting, and it took that Colts pick and one of your 2 seconds this year, and I'm protecting my 3 first-rounders in 2027, I'm all about it. So I would definitely make this deal. But Jeff, your reaction to seeing the Jets and the Giants making a significant draft trade where the Jets would move up to the number 1 slot.
Love Field. Love Field. There is a 0% chance the Giants will trade with the Jets. There's a 0% chance.
See, I'll push back on that. They made the Leonard Williams trade a few years ago.
I know, but to move up to potentially give the Jets their franchise quarterback, not happening.
Yeah,
not
but the
happening.
Giants need picks. If Joe Shane is there, he needs picks.
Still freaking, but as long as I know they got the Leonard Williams deal done, but I just don't see it. Now, let's say whoever it is number 1 is willing to do that deal. I would do it in a heartbeat. If you're convinced either Fernando, I'm assuming this would be for Mendoza. I know that that's what Yates did. But let's
spoil it. Yep. Fernando Mendoza is who the Jets would take in this scenario.
So I'm assuming that Mendoza is the number 1 guy on everyone's board. That's what I'm assuming at this point, Jake. But we all know what happens when we assume. Whoever it is, Mendoza, Moore, if Arch somehow comes out, Arch, like whoever it happens to be, if you're giving up 2 1s in the same draft and a second in this draft and not touching any of next year's high-end picks, I'm all in, Jake. I'm all in on doing this with whoever has the 1 pick. I do not want to give up any number 1 picks in next year's draft, in the 27 draft. I don't give up any of the assets in the 27 draft because if the Jets stink again with a rookie quarterback in 26, they're going to need those assets to build the roster out in 27. So if this is what it is, where you're giving up 7 in this scenario, 18, by the way, the Colts are 100% ending up closer to 10 than they are 25 at this point. So that pick's only going to get better.
It could go as high as I did the math, Jeff. 12 or 13, roughly. They finish 8 and 9.
I mean, I don't think the Colts are winning another game this year. I think they're losing out. So that pick's just going to keep going up. So yeah, I would do it. I would 100% do it if it doesn't matter if it's the Giants, the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans, the Saints, whoever might be picking at the top and they want to move out or they're not convinced Mendoza's the guy and the Jets are, no brainer if that is the package and the Jets brass is convinced that Mendoza's the guy or Dante Moore's the guy. Again, I'm not convinced on Dante Moore. I think Dante Moore would be a huge mistake. Mendoza, yeah, look, I mean, he was really good at Cal last year, and then look what he's done in Indiana. He's probably going to win the Heisman, even though I would vote for Pavia if I had to vote. If you're convinced of the guy, you do this 100% for that package.
Well, to me, it comes down to a couple things you alluded to, right? Your conviction in the guy, and 2, how many other quarterback options are available to you? Now, in Field Yates' mock, it's worth noting Dante Moore declares, so he's available, and he goes number 2 to the Raiders in this mock scenario. So again, maybe the Jets feel strongly about both Mendoza and Moore, and they're comfortable swinging a deal with either of the number 1 and number 2 teams to get their guy. So that's the unknown. I also think for what it's worth, the Giants are going to win another game or 2 here, and they're not going to finish with the number 1 pick. I could see Washington finishing with the number 1 pick if it's not the Raiders. The Raiders scare me the most. If they don't beat the Giants,
scare me the most.
I think they're going to lose every game if they don't beat the Giants in a couple of weeks.
Jake, the Raider fans have swapped over to apathy. And that's a fan base that doesn't usually go apathy. Usually they're anger. And they flopped over to apathy. That has been they are, and look, we watch the Jets every week. The Raiders are so by far the worst team in football right now. It's not even funny. You compare, they're worse than the Titans right now. They're way worse than New Orleans. They're worse than Cleveland. They're worse than both New York teams. They are by far the biggest concern. The only good thing is the Raiders play the Giants in week 17. So one of those teams has to win a game, unless if those morons happen to tie, which I wouldn't put it past them.
That's the only game I could see the Raiders winning. Then they play the Giants.
You know what? Call me insane. The way the Eagles are playing right now, the Eagles are capable of losing to anybody.
We take it. I mean, the Raiders did beat the Patriots somehow at the beginning of the year.
But Jake, that was week 1. It was the Raiders were my favorite underdog of week 1, and they won the game. And now it looks like a total batshit insane that happened. Week 1 football, week 4 of the preseason. Yeah.
I mean, you break it down, right?
Keep in mind, Justin Fields looked like the second best quarterback in the NFL week 1. So You got to throw week one out.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, of the teams that don't need quarterbacks, obviously the Giants would be there. Commanders would be there. Tennessee would be there. What's your read, though, on Cleveland with Shador, New Orleans with Shuck, whether or not they have conviction in those guys being the long-term answer, or at least playing well enough where they wouldn't necessarily go quarterback in round one this year?
All right, let's just roll through 1 through 9 real quick here, Jake. Giants not taking a quarterback. Raiders would 100% take a quarterback if they're convinced. You understand what I'm saying. Cam Ward, Tennessee, Titans aren't going to move off of him 1 year. Cleveland, I would be surprised if they're not convinced of one of these top guys if they don't take a quarterback. But Shador's improved every week he's been out there. I don't think there's any argument on that. And when you have such a cheap quarterback and late round asset, like, it's kind of intriguing, especially when you still have the calorie bomb of Deshaun Watson, right? Like they still have that for another year. New Orleans is going to keep Shuck. I actually like what I've seen from Shuck the last few weeks. I actually think he's played pretty well the last month.
We need him to play well next week against the Jets.
I think he will. I actually kind of like what I've seen from him. He was good in college. He was just old. I mean, that was really my problem with him. Commanders, obviously, Daniels. Arizona's going to need a quarterback, right? Like, Kyler Murray's gone. So, like, the Jets have to stay in front of Arizona. And then the other interesting one with the Falcons not having their pick and the Rams having it, if the Rams win the Super Bowl and Matthew Stafford retires, like, that's a problem all of a sudden, right? like McVay could take a quarterback. Even if Stafford doesn't retire, McVay could still take the quarterback. So, like, the Cardinals and the Falcons need to stay lower on the board than the Jets. Like, that needs to happen. So really, honestly, based off of what I said, the Raiders are by far the biggest concern. And then to me, the next two biggest concerns are the teams currently picking 8 and 9.
Look, again, 3 and 14 Jets, you're in the top 3. Way 14, easier to get a guy.
3 and 14, at worst, you're picking third. I really am convinced of that. I think at worst you're picking third.
Right. And it's very easy you could probably get from 3 to 1 without even having to trade a first round pick in that scenario.
I think, for what it's worth, I think the Giants are winning twice. Like, I'm not worried about them. The Raiders are not winning. Like, I think the Giants come to Vegas and beat the Raiders. I don't think the
Raiders scare me the most, Jeff, because if they love
the Raiders are the only concern. And the one good thing is you see that strength of schedule. Well, actually, Raiders have what? Raiders have that. Yeah, the Jets' schedule is probably more difficult because they have the 3 teams with the winning records. So, yeah, the Raiders might end up with the weaker strength of schedule, and that's the tiebreak when you have the same amount of wins.
No, the Raiders, if they lose out, I think are getting the number 1 pick. That's why their best chance of a win is when they play the Giants in Week 17. We need them to win that game.
Really need the Giants to beat the Commanders, the Raiders to beat the Giants, and then the Commanders to pull one off against either Dallas or Philly, which is not impossible with the way the Eagles. The Eagles just reincarnated what happened to them 2 years ago now, Jake. That's just what happened to them now. Granted, at least they've lost to 3 real teams the last 3 weeks.
Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, our top prize in this week's raffle is a signed football by Darrelle Revis, a signed jersey by Wayne Corbett, and a signed photo by Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson. End of the show today. We raffle away a jersey, but you got to be in it to win it. Send in a super chat, $5 or higher to qualify, or send in a gifted membership to enter the raffle to win a Namath, Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrelle Revis, Nick Mangold, or Keyshawn Johnson jersey. So now that we've established the raffle prize,
Jake, can I ask you a question real quick while we're on the draft stuff? I want to one quick question. And I hate going back to the Eagles at this point, but what if the Eagles have decided that Jalen Hurts can't play anymore?
I wouldn't want him, because if a smart organization wanted to move on from Jalen Hurts, that would concern me.
Okay, I was going to ask, what type of draft capital would you consider giving for him?
They would want at least one, if not more, first-round pick for a Super Bowl MVP.
I know, and that's why I would think about it. I would think about it. I think the one thing that Jalen Hurts, when has Jalen Hurts been at his best, Jake? when the Philadelphia Eagle offensive line has been healthy. And look, the Jets O-line is not the Eagle healthy offensive line, but the Jet offensive line is pretty damn good. So, like, and the Jets are going to want to be run first. Like, there are worse guys. There are plenty of guys who would fit worse with the Jets than Jalen Hurts if that were to somehow come to fruition.
It comes down to cost. But the question I actually was going to ask you is, where are you at in terms of the people that say, wait till 27 to get a quarterback versus, like, I'm in the camp of, you got to get someone this year in round 1. You can't wait till 27.
The only thing I will give that collection is if you don't like either of the guys, you have so much draft capital still for next year that you would be able to be in the same scenario again. And then I understand, yeah, you're pushing a can down the road.
They're probably winning more games, too, in 2026 than they are this year.
No,
like, if they finish 3-14 this year, let's say they win 6 next year.
Yeah, I get that, Jake, but if you're not – okay, it's one thing if you have the number 1 overall pick. Like, if you find a way to get up to number 1, which I don't think is happening, like, you're almost like pressed into taking the quarterback then because you're not giving up any other assets. Like, it's your own pick. But if you have to move, like, if you're not convinced of either of these guys and you have to move from like 6-1 or 5 or even 5-1 with the like a similar package that Yates was saying, and you're not convinced of these quarterbacks, then I can see the argument. At that point, you might as well just call Cincinnati and say, hey, Mike, I know you love cheap players. We'll give you all the ones the next 2 years for Joe Burrow. Like, and see if Mike Brown is stupid enough to do that with seeing, oh, I might be able to save some money. Again, I would think there would be like less than a 2% chance of that happening, but Mike Brown is the only owner dumb enough to potentially do that.
I don't see any Burrow or Hurts or Dak deal or anything.
Dak is the Dak one. I think is the most absurd of the three. Personally,
people mention C.J. Stroud, like that's not happening either.
It's not happening either. The Texans aren't trading him while he still has another year of the rookie contract. Come on.
Of course not. Which is why they need to get a quarterback this year. And I don't care if it's Mendoza, if it's Moore, if they like Ty Simpson, whoever.
Oh, if they like Ty Simpson, Jake, if they like Ty Simpson, we'll be doing this again in 2029. So that's just my take on that situation.
So you're good with Mendoza or Moore, though? You like both players?
I don't really like Dante Moore, but his tools are intriguing. Like, his tools are intriguing, but I don't. Mendoza's the only guy who I think is worthy of a top 10 pick in this class, Jake, personally. But at least you could convince me in Dante Moore because he's got fun tools. He's got intriguing tools. Ty Simpson, I wouldn't even take in the first 64 picks at this point. His regression, since there's been more tape out on him, he's been terrible. By the way, not that I want to turn this into a college football playoff discussion. Alabama getting in was a complete, utter farce. They've sucked the last 6 weeks. And I'm not saying this because I'm pro Notre Dame. I'm just anti-Alabama at this point. They've been terrible. It's a joke.
So you wanted Notre Dame in over Bama?
I wanted Bama out and Notre Dame and Miami in.
I guess the problem with that though is like Bama.
I know it's all conference championship stuff, but
you can't penalize a team for losing in their conference championship game.
Yeah, but BYU got penalized though.
Yeah, but they're not as good as Bama.
You know what? At this point, I'm not so.
And they lost to Texas Tech twice. Bama actually beat Georgia this year.
And you know what? I have no problem with Texas Tech being out. Or excuse me, BYU being out for losing to Texas Tech twice. I have no problem with that. BYU is clearly worse than Notre Dame and Miami. Like, no problem with it. Whatever. I don't want to waste more time on it. But I will say, I want to ask you this, Jake. Is there a prospect other than Mendoza and Moore in this tournament that you would have your eye on for the Jets?
A quarterback prospect?
Any prospect.
Ooh.
Because if the Jets can't get the quarterback, what's the right direction here in this draft?
Well, to me, I'm still intrigued by Ty Simpson because 3 weeks ago, you had people like Connor Rogers saying he's his favorite quarterback. So I'm not completely out on Simpson. If he plays well against a good Oklahoma defense and then goes head to head against Mendoza in the quarterfinals and looks good in that game, like Jet fans are going to like Ty Simpson again. Like this fan base, they move whichever direction the wind is blowing.
Jake, I'm just telling you, if Ty Simpson comes out and whoever drafts him, they'll be doing it all over again in 3 years.
Maybe, but
throwing it out there.
this is the same regime that told us Justin Fields has never been coached properly, and they're going to coach him up. So nothing's off the table.
They did a great job of that, Jake.
So there's no doubt. Shout out to J Boy, the first person to enter today's raffle. Thank you, J Boy.
So non-quarterback wise though, Jake, is there anyone like we would we lose our minds if the Jets took a safety like Caleb Downs, who I think is like the most short thing in the draft?
Yes.
Would you lose your mind if you take another elite pass rusher and Reuben Bain?
No,
like,
pass rusher, no. Safety, yes. Safety, absolutely.
It's funny. I think Caleb Downs is Ed Reed without the turnover ability. Like, I think he's that good. Like, someone's gonna take Caleb Downs at 9, and they're gonna end up with the best player in this upcoming draft. Like, that's how I feel at this point.
I got nothing. I don't care about any of these prospects that aren't the quarterbacks with the Jets' first round pick. I just don't. If they don't go quarterback in this draft, next year's a wash season anyway. It's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I will say, for the second first round pick, keep your eye on Casey Concepcion real quick.
Or Sonny Styles, or you want to take one of the Mekhi Lemon. You want to take one of these receivers in that spot. I'm good with that.
Yeah, like Concepcion, who's playing in the playoff for A&M. That kid is awesome. Like, I'd have no problem if the Jet. Like, they might be picking too high for him with the second first round pick at this point, but that kid's a stud. That kid is an absolute stud.
Well, that's why it'd be great if the Jets could just take their quarterback without having to move up. Like, that's
the key to the operation, my friend. That's the key to the operation. If you can,
I don't know how they're going to do that, but that's the key.
They could end up at number 2, like on their own. Like, they really could. Like, really, the biggest problem with that is where are the Browns finding a win these last 4 weeks? That's of the teams that are in front of them. Like, New Orleans beats the Jets, Tennessee beats New Orleans, the Giants win twice, Washington. Like, they could get all the way to 2. Cleveland would be my biggest concern. The Raiders are not winning again. Like, they're not hopping the Raiders. Like, I think the highest the Jets are getting is 2.
And look, I mean, you just saw the Saints beat the Bucs, so I guess crazy things happen.
Yeah, it's the NFL. Anything can happen, man.
That's kind of what
the Jets could win out and end up totally screwing everything out.
Win out. Yeah, that'd be something. They could win one more because that's typically what they do, right? Now that most
they could absolutely beat New Orleans. They could absolutely beat New Orleans in 2 weeks. Like, those teams are even. Those teams are even. Even though New Orleans just had a good road win. Like, those teams are pretty similar.
That's the last winnable game, I think, for them, the New Orleans game.
I mean, if Buffalo is locked into the 5 seed and plays the backups, but I think Buffalo, that could potentially be the final game in that stadium. Like, I think McDermott's going to play all of his guys at least for a half, especially if that ends up being the last game ever in that stadium.
Non-Jet news, but major college football news. You see Michigan fired Sharon Moore?
What?
Yeah. Just now. Michigan just fired their head coach, Sharon Moore. He had just gotten there, too. He replaced Harbaugh.
He's getting fired for cause. All right, what did he do?
Crazy.
Oh, my God. All right, who's losing their coach now, Jake?
It's a good question.
What did he do that he got
Lane Kiffin to Michigan?
Stallions shit? Like, wow.
How do you do this now?
More? I don't think he's that bad. Oh boy, your boy Portnoy is going to love that, right?
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. All the vacancies seemingly were finally filled, and now they have an opening.
I mean, Jesus, I don't even know who they'd hire.
That's wild.
Like I don't know. Like, well, you want to get nuts? You want to get nuts, Jake? Alabama loses to Oklahoma. It's a nice little escape hatch for Kalen DeBoer, right?
Would he leave Bama to go to Michigan?
If there's no probation, I mean, Jesus, it seemed like if they lost to Auburn, he was going to Penn State.
That's crazy. I don't know. That's pretty wild timing. I wonder what led to this now. There'll be more info that will come out.
Well, I'm texting my Michigan guy. Let's see if we get anything.
Michigan should hire Urban Meyer.
No, I'm good.
Hey, can we get Wink Martindale to be our defensive coordinator next year now that he's going to be available?
I would love that.
I want either him or Jim Leonard or Jim Schwartz if the Browns fire Stefanski and blow the whole thing up.
Well, yeah, the Browns are absolutely firing Stefanski. They're doing one or the other. They're either firing Stefanski or they're keeping Shador. They're not doing both.
Yep. A couple super chats here. This one is from Mace B. I tried to get to you earlier, Mace B. Appreciate it. Your Namath jersey arrived. Hell yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for the support. Peter Castro writes in, Jeff, welcome back. We missed you. That's from Peter Castro. Mace B with a follow-up saying,
we got the reason, by the way, Jake.
Sorry, Mace B. Jeff just wants you to never get your word. And go ahead, Jeff. What's the reason? More important.
Here we go. Following a university investigation, this is from Brett McMurphy and Michigan now. Following a university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and the University of Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. So here we go. Pulled a Bobby Petrino with not as much ridiculousness.
I wonder if they were looking for a reason to get out.
I'm thinking the same thing, my friend.
Because let's be real. We know how college football works. Like, you could be the scummiest person ever, but if you're winning games, they look the other way.
I am very curious to see what direction they go now. I like my DeBoer escape hatch idea, though. I like that. I think
Someone's losing their coach.
I think that's a possibility. I think that's a legitimate possibility.
Crazy. All right, Mace, be your other super chat here. Predict the 49ers playoffs. I feel like losing the likes to the Seahawks or Rams to make a decision between Mac or Brock. Contract be damned. Won't make the Super Bowl. I have absolutely no interest in either Mac Jones or Brock Purdy on the Jets. Let me first state that. As far as how far the Niners go, I mean, they're well coached. Their defense is opportunistic. And again, I think it goes back to Shanahan. He gets the most out of his guys. So wouldn't surprise me if they went on a run. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost early, given how beat up they are.
I had in my post Monday Night Football playoff machine go through it predictions. I had the Niners beating the Bucks wild card weekend, and then I had them losing to Green Bay. So divisional round exit for San Francisco. No thank you on either Niner quarterback. I think they would both be terrible outside of Kyle Shanahan's system.
I agree. And how about Jonathan Vilma 2 weeks ago, trading a first-round pick, the Jets are, for Mac Jones? That was his brilliant analysis during that Jet-Falcon game.
For Mac Jones? Yeah, I think that's a great use of the asset. I think that's great use, Jake.
Taylor D'Onofrio is in our raffle for 5. And Taylor, good news. Your signed Wayne Corbett photo was sent out to you today. So congrats on winning that on the first show. Wide receiver or defense with the Colts pick, ? Wouldn't it be nice to not talk draft with the season still going on? It would be, but all my shows have now been dominated by quarterback discussion and draft talk because Aaron Glenn has led the Jets to 3-10. So that's kind of where we're at. But as far as receiver or defense with the Colts pick, assuming they have it, which I'm not convinced because maybe they have to use it in a trade up. My preference, Jeff, is receiver and just offensive players in general with our premium draft assets. And let's spend our free agent money to fix the defense. That'd be my approach.
I want to see how high it is. I want to see how high it is first before making a real inference. If the Colts are picking like 15, then it's absolutely a wide receiver. If you're like getting all the way to 12, you could end up in a scenario where either Reuben Bain or Caleb Downs somehow falls to you and you can't pass that up. If either of those guys fall to you at like 12 or 11 or something like that. So what a great text I just got from my Michigan guy. Not appropriate for air, Jake. Yeah, I would go wide receiver more likely than not. If one of those elite defensive guys somehow falls in your lap, you got to take him.
Look, edge is a huge need for this team. As much as we like Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, they have not had good seasons, and maybe some of it is the poor scheme, but like they need another big-time edge rusher. I'd like them to re-sign JFM in free agency, so at least you have him added to the D-line.
Well, that was really the downfall of all of the last 3 years. That was really the beginning, right? When they just offloaded JFM for no good reason. Like that was kind of the beginning of the end for the defense.
Yep.
Which is kind of incredible. And I always loved JFM. He never got the proper respect for how good he was, Jake. And he's also getting completely overshadowed in Denver because Benito's like one of the 5 best defensive players in football now.
That's when literally it all started to go to hell for the Jets. When they traded JFM for a bag of used footballs and never replaced them. In comes Hassan Reddick, And the rest is history. And that's why the Jets don't have a third-round pick this year, by the way, because of the Reddick deal.
Yeah. God, what a freaking train wreck that was.
Christopher writes in, Jake, you're leading the Jets into hell. No way should we draft a quarterback in the first round this year. Christopher, not only should the Jets do it in the first round, but they're going to do it and you will like it. So look into my eyes, Christopher, all right? They're going to take a quarterback in the first round and you will deal with it, Christopher. Deal with it, you bastard. All right, Jeff, your thoughts on Christopher. Am I leading the Jets into hell by wanting a quarterback in round one?
You are a ginger, so I mean, I guess you technically are leading everybody into hell, right, Jake?
I don't have a soul. That's what they say.
Look, I understand why there is some hesitation from some on these quarterbacks. I get it. But if Fernando Mendoza is available and the Jets have the opportunity to trade up to get him, and the Jets are fully convinced he's the guy, you have to find a way to do it. And if it happens to be the case with Dante Moore, guess what? You got to do it that way. So, again, it'll be fascinating to see if there's two quarterback-needy teams picking in front of the Jets to see what happens. That will be the fascinating scenario in this draft, Jake. And that would realistically only happen if it's the Raiders, Cleveland, if they decide to say, oh, Shador's just a backup. And then, like I said, Arizona, and if the Rams with the Falcons pick end up in front of the Jets.
Jeff, are you ready for some calls?
I got time for two. My friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, first up is this man.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
What up, Jeff?
How are you, Gary?
I'm not good because of what happened to my Longhorns. What they did to my Longhorns, but we'll find
Gary, by the end of the year, they were one of the 5 best teams in the country, but had a 0% chance of getting in based off of what happened to them earlier in the year. So,
I want to get to my call, but I want to. If I'm Sark, I'm doing this right now. I'm canceling the Ohio State game next year. There's no reason for me to play that game, and I'm scheduling Kennesaw State. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I wouldn't schedule Kennesaw because Kennesaw is a legitimate CUSA team, but I get your point.
I'm scheduling Indiana State.
Gary, I'm just going to throw one thing at you. I think the playoff's going to be 24 teams next year. I think they're genuinely doubling it. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about losing a game to Ohio State in week 1 potentially. And you know what? Texas should be able to win that game next year. I'm sorry, even with all of everything Ohio State will have back.
I get it, right? But you hit the nail on the head when you said Texas is one of the 5 best teams in the country. Then what's the playoffs about then if it's not putting the best teams in the country in the playoffs?
Yeah, you know what, Gary, I'm going to cut you off because we could talk about this for 14 hours. Yeah. But I said it earlier. I thought Alabama getting in was a farce. I would have liked to have seen by the end of the year, Texas and Vanderbilt, if we're just going SEC teams, were better than Alabama was. But
hey, Gary, why is your baseball team so cheap, by the way?
Oklahoma for going 10-2. Also.
Hey, Gary, how about your broke-ass Mets? Why are they so cheap?
I don't know. Like, can you explain? Are they rebuilding? I don't know what this is. I don't understand. What do you? I thought it was Uncle Moneybags. Like, what happened? Like, I don't know. I thought money was no object. I don't know what this is.
So, Gary, I'll just throw one theory that I've been batting around with some friends of mine that live in smaller markets and root for smaller market teams that have seen guys go to bigger jobs. Stearns is still operating like he's running the Brewers, which is a big problem. And we knew Alonso wasn't coming back. The Diaz one, again, Jake asked me this before we started the show. The Diaz thing pisses me off to no end. Like, you really, like, you lost him over $3 million and you lost him over bad communication. That just can't happen. But whatever. He has a plan. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, it can be out in 2 years.
Well, it's certainly not gonna work, right? Like, what is it? Vientos
I'm not going to say it has no chance of working, but the early returns are not good. Let's just go with
I'm a Met fan, a Jet fan, a Net fan. I'm just assuming nothing my teams ever do. I had James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant on the same team. They didn't get out of the second round of the playoffs. Like, nothing.
Yeah, legitimately just winning the title by a half of an inch.
Yeah. I do want to ask you, though, like, Jake came up with the hypothetical trade for Mendoza and stuff.
Sure.
I'm not a fan, but I don't oppose the idea of it if you think Mendoza's that guy. So I want, like, what do you think Mendoza's upside? Do you think he's a top 10 quarterback? Do you think he's a middle of the pack quarterback? Like, 1 to 32, where do you think he projects out to be as an NFL quarterback?
I think Fernando Mendoza's ceiling is top 10. I think his bottom.
Okay.
I think his bottom is Zach Wilson. Which I know I just made everybody shudder, but that's kind of what my opinion is on all these quarterbacks that are available this go around, where I think Mendoza and I think Dante Moore also has top 10. Like I said before, like I don't like Moore now as a prospect. I think he should go back to Oregon one more year and he could with slam dunk, even if Arch improves, be the number one pick in 2027 because his skill set is just so good. But Mendoza, look, the man makes difficult throws, Gary. We saw it in the drive against Penn State. We saw it on Saturday against Ohio State. The man makes difficult throws under pressure. And that is an impressive skill set to have and an important one to have going into the NFL. Look, I have my questions. He seems like a total goofball, which I wonder how that translates to an NFL locker room. But he can make very difficult throws under duress at a level that not many guys coming into the NFL have the ability to do. And that is a very important asset to have coming into this league.
If you guys like, I'm not that high on him. Like I don't see like there's nothing about him that jumps off the page for me when he's playing Penn State, when he's playing Iowa. Like I don't see anything that says that's him, that's the guy. We gotta go all in him. I don't see it. If you guys see it, make it good. Like that's all I can say. If you're gonna trade up, make it good. If he better be a top 10 quarterback because we're trading the future to get him. I don't want Kirk Cousins 2.0 if we're trading up for him.
My biggest concern, forget the Zach Wilson thing because that's just the range I go basically on every top flight quarterback now. My concern is that he could very easily turn into something like Darnold was with the Jets. Like that could happen because Sam always had all the tools. Like we knew what Sam's flaws are.
I love that pick.
But like he got bad coaching. Like Sam got bad coaching in New York. And that is the biggest concern with Mendoza. Also, that he could have a very similar career path to Sam if he ends up with the Jets, where we saw glimpses of high-end talent. We knew he was never great. The only difference is that Mendoza's, I think, much better under heat than Darnold was at USC at any point. But that would be my biggest concern, that Mendoza has a very similar career path to Darnold if he ends up with the Jets, that the talent is shown, but the coaching is terrible and they give up after 3-4 years. That would be my biggest concern, in all honesty, Gary.
Darnold also played on the worst roster in football, too. Like, they didn't give him any help.
And that's true. He also had, up until the first 10 weeks of Aaron Glenn this year, had the worst Jet coach I can ever remember. So, it's... no,
I'm with you.
That's my concern with Mendoza. I think he has the tools. Situation's going to be very important for them. I think he'll be terrible with the Raiders also, unless if the Raiders keep Pete Carroll around another year, that's going to be a train wreck year one. But that would be my concern with him, that he has a similar career path to Sam Darnold, where he has plenty of talent. Oh, he's better under duress, but I think Darnold's arm talent out of USC is much better than Mendoza's. And when the Jets got Darnold, I'm like, oh my God, I thought the problems were solved. I thought Sam was the guy coming out of USC.
And he was the right guy. He's good. He's really good.
And you know what? In retrospect, the Jets made the right pick. It just didn't work.
Like, they failed him.
The Jets jetted. Like that. Just all that happened.
That's my concern about, like, I don't think Mendoza has the same upside as Darnold. But like, okay, if you want to say he's going to be an adequate quarterback, I can live with that, right? But it's now he has to go in the right system. He has to go in the right organization to build him up. And I don't like. That's why you got to fire Glenn. Like you can't let Glenn rebuild this quarterback because then you're going to be in the situation as the Giants. Maybe you picked the right quarterback, but now you got to bring a coach in. It's like you're doing this backwards. Fire Glenn. Bring in an offensive-minded coach who knows quarterbacks, Cliff Kingsbury, and let him do the entire process.
Well, that was my whole argument.
We all know there's a 0% chance that AG is getting fired. So,
right, but that was my whole argument, Jeff, at the beginning of the year when we were talking about one and done. It's like if they were bad enough to finish with the worst record in the league, there'd be no point in keeping Aaron Glenn when history shows you the team with the number one pick always fires their coach the following season, most of the time during that following season.
Jesus, Brian Callahan made it 6 weeks this year.
Right.
Gary, this is the most I think you and I have been aligned in a very long time, I will say.
Well, Crawford by decision, we were aligned on too. You remember? Yeah.
Counting the money from that one. That was so nice. That was a really nice one.
It was a layup. It was easy money. That was robbing. That was a bank robbery. That was easy money. All right.
Man.
I think that's all I got. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
You got it, Gary. Jeff, I know you're up against it, so I'll let you run.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Asmaniacs. I'll see you again next week.
Jeff Parles, a weekly spot talking Jets future and Jets present. For those who missed it, Brady Cook likely to start this week. Aaron Glenn saying Cook will get all the reps. Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields are not practicing today. This was Brady Cook and Adrian Martinez, who's back with the Jets, rocking the number 1 at practice earlier. So this game might feel like a preseason game on Sunday. Jeez. Again, this season cannot end fast enough. All eyes are on the draft because that's the only thing that will provide any sort of clarity on the direction this team is going. All right. More of your calls if you want in on the conversation. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let me get to a couple super chats here. Mace B says the Texans D being compared to the 2000 Ravens is in talent or DC. They're better than everyone else. How can the Jets get something near that? Well, I mean, talent is outstanding, right? Look at their roster. But also, they have a really good defensive coach in DeMeco Ryans. That's where it starts. I haven't seen anyone compare them to the 2000 Ravens, though, Mace B. I don't know where you've seen that. I've heard people compare them to the 2015 Broncos, the Legion of Boom defenses, 2013 Seattle. It's probably the best defense we've seen in years from the standpoint that, their defense has single-handedly won them games this year while their offense has struggled. How can the Jets get near that? Have better players and better coaching. It's not complicated. Steve Wilkes has done a bad job. Aaron Glenn has done a horrific job overall this year. And despite some improvement, there's still a lot that leads to be desired, if we're being honest. So hopefully Glenn rectifies the Wilkes hire and hires a proven DC or an up-and-coming guy. If you told me it's Jim Leonard, I'd be okay with that too. NYJ says, QB first rounder, GTFO, we need offense. Agreed, man. Don't go into next year with Marcus Mariota for the season and try and sell me on Mariota and then Drew Allard in the 3rd round or 4th round. And that's the plan for a year. No way. That's a horrific strategy. No one wants to watch that. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline is where we are headed. Where standing by is...
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
We've come full circle because I'm not only did I peel the potatoes, but I'm cutting them too. So that's good.
At least you're an Islander fan too, PBM. Great win last night.
That was a great win, although I thought we were going to blow out, giving up a goal with 14 seconds left. I want to eviscerate the Jets for a second, but before I do that, I disagree with you. I don't think that we need, and Jeff, he hit on this too, I don't think that we need a quarterback no matter what in the first round, because since we had to win that Falcons game, if we don't get the number 1 pick and there's only one guy they believe in and they think the other guys are going to be Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, whatever, then you don't take that guy. So you have to play the draft the way it is. If there's people ahead of you because they, lost more games and they can draft a quarterback that you want, and you have to pivot. You can't just take a quarterback for the sake of taking a quarterback.
Yeah, I get that. I just find it hard to believe that there won't be an option available to them that we'll view as worthy of the first round swing.
Yeah, it all depends on what they believe. None of us know that, but that's the only way where it's okay that they don't draft a quarterback is if the only guy that they believe in they can't get.
If they can't get a quarterback in the first round this year, they failed. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't have won that Falcons game.
But again, Mike, they're going to try and win the Jaguars game on Sunday, and they're going to try and win the Saints game after that. We have no control over it. They're trying to win games.
And then for the Jets, so I don't know if you got this because you obviously had a much bigger group buy than I had, but because I did a group buy for the Panthers game for my wife's dad's birthday, they sent me an email saying if I do another one for next year at a certain time, I'll get priority access to playoff tickets. You haven't had a home playoff game in, what is it, 25 years or something like that? You haven't even been to the playoffs in 15 years. You're trying to market playoff tickets? Where are these brain dead fucking asshole people from the Jets? Stop marketing playoff tickets before I stab myself in the fucking face. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Wake up, read the room, read the fucking room, because whoever they got doing their marketing cannot read the fucking room.
Feel better, Mike?
Say.
All right. Yeah! Look, the people over at One Jets Drive don't know their ass from their chin. We could be honest. If you're sending emails to potential season ticket holders, trying to incentivize people to buy tickets, and part of your marketing plan is priority buy for playoff tickets, when the team hasn't had a home playoff game since 2002, you're a little tone deaf. So I understand Mike's frustration. Mike Perez says, F the defense. I want offense for once in our life. I agree. Again, the defense needs a lot of work. We understand that. I think some of it is poor coaching, which you could rectify with a good defensive coordinator hire. And you also have $100 million in cap space. So I would spend money in free agency on defense and use my premium assets on quarterback, guard/center, receiver, another tight end. Right? Like, I'm retaining Brees. I'm bringing back Simpson and AVT on a prove-it deal for AVT. I have no problem bringing back Simpson and Myers. I'll draft the guard/center early. So I'm adding to my depth, and eventually that guy starts for me. You have enough money where you could bring back the entire O-line and Brees and then spend some money in free agency to fix the defense. Sign Leo Chanel. Sign Alex Anzalone. Boom, I fixed linebacker. Sign John Franklin Myers. Add to that defensive edge room. And then I have all my picks, which are right now 4 in the top 50, to address key players on offense. NYJ writes in, QB first rounder, GTFO. We need offense. I agree. More of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is a loose cannon. Buckle up.
Sean, he wears batshit crazy glasses. Spikes his football in the toilet. He might be a little drunk. 3D Gary thinks the guy is a midwit. Is that a Cybertruck on his face? Let's ask Sean Sugator.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm really going to try to tone it down tonight, and play it easy. Psych, all right. Let's go with the all right. So Jeff was saying something about, he has to be smoking crystal rocks. If he ever thinks that Mendoza is going to end up like Zach Wilson. Come on, man.
That's not what he said.
I think he just throws things out there. See if anything sticks.
That's not what he said.
He said something about Mendoza, his bottom will be Zach Wilson.
He said his ceiling is top 10 and his bottom could be Zach Wilson. I think the point he was trying to articulate, Sean, is that we could have all the confidence in the world in any of these prospects. And the reality is they could just be god awful like Zach Wilson. Like, we truly don't know.
Yeah, but then potentially that would bring our organization down to another, 7, realm of hellish tier. But
potentially, if Fernando Mendoza is Zach Wilson reincarnated, there is no potential there. They will be one of the worst teams in the league for however many games he would remain the Jet quarterback.
Yeah, and with the whole Woody Johnson thing, you know what I mean? People always want to say, he pays the bills. Let's be real. He pays the bills. Does he run the show? We don't know. Speculation. You know what I mean?
The owner. What do you mean?
It's speculation that he runs the whole operation, and
he does. He's the owner. He signs the checks.
Yeah, but what I mean is all right, if he puts certain people at GM, head coach,
right,
and he's over their shoulder, all the time.
I think in
saying
the
no, you
past
can't.
he has clearly meddled, but I think clearly with Glenn and Muji, he hired them, and to this point, he's let them run the team how they want to run it.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like specifically his how can I say it, fault, but anyway, Jake,
Yo, Holmes
guess what I
writes
got?
in, where are we going with this call? It's a good question, Yo, Holmes. We're going wherever Sean wants us to go.
Where are we going? I'm talking about the Jets. What are you talking about? Fucking moron. But anyway, all right. So 90. Look, I got like the last time the Jets were really significant, and they were really good. Well, it was the 9 and 10 seasons. But besides that, 98, man. I bought the yearbook for 98. Who's on that cover?
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. It's like we need to get back to the basics, We need to really
we need to put Aaron Glenn on the yearbook.
We need to make players accountable, and stop this horse shit.
What does that mean?
About it means like in the modern day football, it's always about getting paid, getting the cash. But when you get the cash, you have to put up your heart, man. Like you have to put it out on the field, and you have to, make sure that you earn that money. A lot of players want to just make it, just want to get that big paycheck, and that's it. They're good.
DS this call is going into the toilet like that football he dropped a few weeks ago.
I know, Jake, but this is what you do, man. I noticed this about you.
What do I do?
I'm trying to make a good call, trying to make it respectful, trying to make good points.
Nate writes in, this is the guy that claims he gets less time than the other callers. I'm reading the chat.
Then you bring up these idiotic these idiotic guys that in my face wouldn't say that.
Well, that was your quote, though.
Say that.
You were complaining that you weren't getting a lot of time. You've gotten plenty of time.
But I'm making
right. I followed up. You brought up the 1998 Jets yearbook. You said, look who's on it. I said, Aaron Glenn. And I said, okay, do they need to put Aaron Glenn on the yearbook? And then you talked about something about accountability. And I said, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, but a lot of these soft-bellied guys, online in their freaking basements, don't want to run their mouths. So, dude, if I was in your face, real life, you wouldn't say shit. So don't make it act like, Hey,
Sean, I'll let you finish. I just want to let you know, Frank called you an angry drunk.
I'm not an angry drunk. You guys are pathetic, man. I'm trying to make good points here. I'm trying to make good points on our team. And you guys want to, thrash me. For what? To intimidate me, to try to make me
Can I give you some advice, Sean? Don't take the chat overly serious. They're trying to troll you to get you riled up. No one actually wants to thrash you.
I know, Jake. I get it. But it's a respectful thing. If you were face to face with a person, let's say we all had tailgate, right? We all went to the tailgate party,
right?
And we were all chilling. These guys wouldn't talk to me like that, So it's all right. At least I'm brave enough to be on here, right? And talk my opinion. So,
do I make you nervous, Sean?
No, I'm glad you feel well, Jay. From your sickness. I'm glad you feel better.
Yeah, feeling a little better today. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you don't think I notice these things? I do. I'm glad you feel better.
Jay writes in, Sean, stop crying. Now I will definitely tell you that to your face.
He wouldn't.
Dixie
I guarantee
says,
you wouldn't.
Yes, we would talk to you like that.
No, he wouldn't. Half these dudes talk this shit, they wouldn't.
Gary says they're all P words. Don't take it to heart. How about the fact that the guy that called you a midwit is coming to your defense?
Yeah, well, thank you, nitwit, guy. But, I just want to make a statement, I'm not oh yeah, I know people want to call me prima donna on here, or a drama queen. But whatever, I am who I am. So
Any response
whatever.
to FP Strupa, who says we're all now dumber for listening to this?
Yo, he got 2 cents that are rubbing together all the time because, he's dumber than a fucking doorknob. But anyway, it is what it is, a bag of rocks. This is what these guys' brains are made of, some of them. So they don't have no creativity. They have no internal perception of anything. So whatever.
Well, I think you bring the passion, Sean. I'm just curious, just following up on your point on the 1998 yearbook and how it relates to the 2025 Jets.
I just wanted to say, at least we have something to kind of, as Jet fans, because it's been so bad for so long. At least we have something to grasp onto to say, maybe it could be like this one day again. Maybe it can happen again.
Hey, do us a favor. When you go to bed tonight, take the 98 yearbook and put it next to you in the bedroom, all right? Like on the pillow next to you.
And I will pray to it. And I'll say, God, relieve us of this strain of being a Jets fan.
Right.
And maybe it'll happen. Well, thank you for giving me these minutes, Jake, because I remember you only gave me 3 minutes last time. You gave me more this time.
Well, Sean, you realize there's no set amount of time, right? It's just kind of typically based on how the call's going, if you're making points or if there's something happening during your call that's notable.
I try to make it entertaining, but I'm not some boring ass snoozy guy. So
you realize I don't keep track of who's on for X amount of time, right?
Yo, check in my shirt, Jake. You like Kiss?
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway,
any other thoughts, Sean? Have you gotten enough time? How do you think
Jake,
this call went?
Man, Jake, man, I like you, but you can, be problematic in my life. But anyway, all right.
Nate writes in, 3 minutes of shoving a football in a toilet was more entertaining than 10 minutes of whining.
But you did like the football in the toilet, didn't you? Right?
Well, sometimes I'd say, Sean, less is more. Maybe you don't want an 8-minute call. Maybe you just want to come in, make your quick points, and get out of here, and then leave the Asmaniacs.
No, Jake. You know why? Because you want to make me look like a dumbass. I'm Beast. Breaker.
Whoa!
And
what has Beast done? Hold on. Why are you taking a shot at Beast?
Because you want to make me look like a sideshow freak. And I'm not that person. I'm smart, man.
You called in to talk about the 1998 Jets yearbook cover. I haven't asked you to do anything. You're the one who's getting all offended.
Because this fandom acts like I'm supposed to be a puppet on a marionette on strings and act like
I think you're projecting, Sean. I haven't asked you to do anything. You make yourself look like a jackass. I don't have to do that. How dare you?
You're a jackass half the time you're on here.
What am I doing?
Come on.
What have I done?
Because you try to belittle.
I haven't tried to have you do anything. You called in, you made your point. I followed up on it.
Yeah, but you mentioned the fans' comments. Well,
it's an interactive show. We always mention the comments.
Yeah, but you're putting them over my,
I'm reading them to you. Things. You're calling in from your phone. You can't see them at the same time. And you really pissed off Beast. You really did.
Beast is a clown in itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Nice word around your mouth.
Let's go.
Shut
for entertainment purposes.
Your mouth up right here, right now. I heard you running your stack. Listen, shut your trap and wise your smart ass ideas up. I don't want to hear your bullshit, okay? I like your 98 points, but unfortunately, you don't look like you stand out from my standards. Your standards are very adequate, very adolescent, out of date, out of touch, ass backwards.
Adolescent, bro. You can't even fucking scrub my ball sack.
You couldn't even carry my boots.
You couldn't even rub my knob the right way.
Sonny boy.
Like, you couldn't even shine my shoes, boy.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Look, Asperger. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. You are.
Dude, you live with your mom. You live with your mom in the basement.
Look, 1987
You're not
was
even the
going for
man.
Heart Foundation. Hey, shut up, bitch, when I speak, whole boy. 1987's calling for their glasses back. Yeah, Heart Foundation, duh, dummy. You don't seem to listen.
You jealous, Beast Boy? You jealous? That I can pull them off?
You don't have
jealous?
the balls to stand toe-to-toe, nose-to-nose, man-to-man. You don't got no testicles. The only thing you got is
you jealous? I got an 8-inch cock. You jealous? I got an 8-inch.
25%.
You jealous?
Son of
that
a
could
bitch
please a woman?
Take a look at. Here, let me just give you a little history lesson.
That you can't please a girl?
You can't please a girl? Get the stepping, sonny boy. Take a lick and get the stepping.
Yo,
get the
this is what Jake wants. Jake is feeding off
you
it.
ain't
You know why? Because he's getting more lucrative
I want more
callers.
bitches like you. You don't got no testicles.
I know, Jake. I know your game, Jake.
Get your weak 50-cent yellow ass. Go change your tampons, by the way, and go sing the song Tampon Tim. Yeah, go sing it. Go sing it while you're at while you're in the shower.
Tampon Tim, right? You in the politics,
Go ahead.
right?
Go ahead. I don't.
You Trump lover? You're a Trump lover, then. You're a Trump lover, right? I know you are.
Go wash your ass.
Trump lover.
Go get. Hey,
all right.
Good.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
All right, Sean, did you get enough airtime today? Are you satisfied?
Jake, you're a clown, bro. You're a clown.
You called into the show. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, but I know what you're doing. I'm not a fucking ignorant motherfucker. I know what you're doing.
You just made me $2. Nate says, thanks for the Sean.
I know, Jake. And you don't care because you know what? I'm going to meet you on that ship. And you're going to have to talk to me one-on-one.
I'd love to talk to you
Jake,
one-on-one.
Talk your shit.
I'm not talking any shit, Sean. You called my talk.
You're making me seem like I'm a fucking sideshow clown. And I'm not.
You do that on your own. I just answer your calls.
No, you do that. All right?
No,
you play games,
do
Jake.
That.
No, you play games, Jake. You do. You string us along
into a talk
on
show,
our little strings.
And I'm talking to you.
And you're the ringleader. You're the ringleader.
Well, it's called the Jake Asman Show. So, yes, by the nature of the title, I am the host of the show.
Yeah, so you control everything.
That's kind of how this works. Yes.
But, Jake, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I'll meet you on the boat.
I really don't want to talk to you one-on-one. I think the platform we have here is more than adequate.
Because you're afraid. You're scared. You little redhead bitch.
What am I afraid of? Your drunk ass calling into a talk show? I'm afraid of you? No, Sean. If you want to call in and talk about the Jets, the platform is yours. We'll see you later, buddy. Hope your life improves, you miserable piece of crap. Anyway. Yeah, Sean, I am the ringleader. Hence the title of the show having my name in it. It's kind of how this works. Mike writes in, midwit was a compliment. Gary might have been onto something. All right, more of your calls. I don't know how we follow that one up. We go for maybe one of our meanest drunks in the great Sean there to maybe one of the nicest drunks.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
David T, you're the man. How are you?
Well, thank you for the compliment. I know you're the man. As a matter of fact, I want to give you a compliment with Sean. You have a way of bringing the Jets fans together. Sean, he's, he is what he is. Boy, I'm losing my train of thought.
I don't know why he got so mad at me, David. He's saying that like I make him do things. He called into the show. I never said, "Hey, Sean, I need you to call in and be a clown." He does that on his own.
Yeah, I had it all put together.
Yes, he loves you, Jake. He loves the show, and you're like the I'm a 50, 60 year Nick fan, but you're like the Michael Jordan, of your show. You make everybody better, bring everybody together, and that's why we all stick with you and love you, and you're the man, Jake.
You're the man, David T. Hopefully, Sean will call back and he'll be sober one day.
Oh, he will. He will. Oh, and the other thing I just want to say, if you got time, Jake, I caught your V-Man on your show, your other show. I saw it in Aftermath, and he said about chickens with their heads cut off, running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and V-Man, with his culture and everything. But my grandfather was an old Italian farmer, came to Pennsylvania, and back in the day, my mom and dad used to always talk about this. They could raise animals, in the city, and they raise chickens, and you cut their heads off, and then they run through the rest of their life, and then you pluck the feathers, and that's how they got their food. I didn't mean to gross you out, but fact of life.
I'll tell you what, David T. The way you have a new spin on things is truly phenomenal.
Well, I do the best I can, Jake. I love your show, and thank you for having me on.
You're the best, David T. This is for you.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Man, what a show this has been, huh? Sean, call back in. Let's bury the hatchet here. All right. M. Morris just sent in a super chat for the ringleader. Look, the ringleader is apparently Sean. All right. He's the architect behind all this. He's trying to play it off like I'm the ringleader. I know what he's doing. We all know deep down Sean's the one who has all the power around here. Mike Perez says, here for the circus. Here's for the circus owner forcing Clown to call into his YouTube show. God. I don't know why Sean was getting mad at me. Like, that was surprising. Like, he called into this show. I don't get it. So apparently Sean's not calling back in because he's too busy putting his football on the toilet again or something. This was just sent to me by Sean. So, Sean, look, if you get done with the football on the toilet, please call in. Anyway, more of your calls, shall we? Renzel is next. Hello, Renzel.
Wow. What a call by that guy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know why he was so mad in particular. He got plenty of airtime, but it is what it is.
You know what I noticed? Every time he comes on the show, it's like he apologizes to you. I guess he gets drunk and then he takes it out on you. I notice every time he comes on, he says, I want to apologize to you, Jake, because I said some nasty things to you. I think that guy just gets drunk and he's just a mad drunk and he has a lot of self-esteem issues, man.
Look, I get it. We're all Jet fans. We're all disgusted. We're all angry. But yeah, I hope Sean's okay and he calls back, and we'll continue to have him on the show.
But I'm calling you because I wanted to say thank you first of all for sending me those tickets for Sunday, even though I was not able to go because my daughter caught the flu. It's the flu season now, so you know how it goes. She's okay now, so. But it was pretty bad Sunday and Monday. She even missed school, but it is what it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know how she's feeling.
That,
I've been sick too.
Yeah, I see. But besides that, I wanted to talk about. I haven't heard anybody mention Jimmy G as a gap. I know he's not good. I know he's not good. But I think out of all of the options that are gonna be in free agency, he's probably the best option out there. I don't want Gardner Minshew. I think he has gotten a time to start for a few teams, and he has shit the bed. I'm not on the issue at all. I think Jimmy G would probably get the job done. He can start. He's pretty reliable. He's a little bit injury prone, but he's pretty reliable, and I think he'll be able to run the offense the way run.
Hey, Renzo, do me a favor. Call back when you get better internet, but we got the gist of what you were saying. Garoppolo, I'm interested in if he's part of a 3-person QB room. Like, it can't just be Jimmy G and a rookie because Jimmy G gets hurt all the time. He is very similar to Tyrod Taylor. Garoppolo, I mean, look, at times he's been a good quarterback in this league. I mean, his career record is 43-21. He's won a lot of games. You know, he had Shanahan with the Niners for most of those wins. You know, he's been competent. He'll be 35 next year. Like, he's kind of what you're looking at for like a bridge veteran option. Now, when we say bridge, like, I don't want him actually playing most of the year, though. I want him to play till a rookie's ready. So I'm interested in Jimmy G. He would not be my number one choice. I think I'd rather Marcus Mariota over Garoppolo. Mariota's played this year and has played decent at times. Look, the reality is the options suck. So the Jets are going to have to just pick the best of what's out there and hope that they get the rookie they're drafting correct, and that guy will play at some point sooner rather than later. Welcome to Something is in the raffle for one. Hey, now. That is actually the first gifted membership we've had this show. Or is it the second? Let me check. It says we have, J-Boy. So we have 2 total gifted memberships. As the ringleader of this circus, I'm going to gift another membership right now to this wonderful community. I'm doing this in honor of Sean. So, Sean, this is for you, buddy. 1 gifted membership here to get us up to 3 during this program. Ladies and gentlemen, a membership has been gifted.
Jets, Jets.
And it went to listener Jets Dog, who I'm adding in the raffle for 1. Congratulations to Jets Dog. All right, let's get to more calls here before we wrap the program. Let's say hello to Carlos DeBarber. What's up, Los?
What's going on, Jake?
Los.
I just want to say that if anybody who takes anything that happens on these shows or calls serious really needs to check themselves. And, it's pretty sad because, I mean, everything's a joke, there's nothing serious except the football points, One of the things I wanted to touch on was that the more I think about it, man, the more I feel like as an organization, and I hope we're wrong, as an organization, I really feel like we fumbled the ball. Well, not we, because we don't make no decisions, but Woody Johnson definitely fumbled the ball in hiring a defensive coach. One of the things that Parsley was talking about was the development of the quarterbacks. Do these guys have what it takes to develop these young QBs? I think that's a big issue. And then another thing is, as far as Mendoza, it scares me. I was actually listening to your show when the young, I forget his name. He did the film breakdown on Mendoza the other day. And he was talking about some things about accuracy with the deep ball. And I was kind of rolling on that tide of Mendoza, but then after seeing that film breakdown, it kind of scared me a little bit. Do you think that's something that can be fixed if it's truly an issue, the deep ball once he gets into the league?
Do I don't know. I think he's got a good enough arm, Carlos, to make all the throws from what I've seen. And if he doesn't have as good of an arm as some other guys, but he's more accurate than those guys, like I rather the guy that's got touch and accuracy over the guy with the best arm. I mean, the best arm was Zach Wilson and Justin Fields, and where did that get the Jets, right? Like, give me the guy that could process, can handle adversity, could get the ball out accurately. I'd rather that than the guy with just the best arm strength for the deep ball.
And then one more thing was that, I was thinking about, I really like Muji as a GM. So in in a worst case scenario, let's say the Aaron Glenn experiment doesn't work. Is it ideal, and does it have to be mandatory for the GM to also be fired along with the head coach? Or is there a possibility where the GM can stay after the head coach is fired?
I think they're kind of attached at the hip, Carlos. Right? I mean, the owner once referred to Muji as Glenn's sidekick, so I don't think that like Muji's going to survive and then Glenn would go. I think they're kind of locked in together.
All right, and one more thing. I think, and I'll finish with this. I really think that I feel like the whole Breece Hall situation is kind of iffy. I really feel it's just a gut feeling. I mean, I don't know nothing about nothing, but I really feel like in the offseason he gets traded. Like I don't think we have Breece Hall
was a
as
free
a
agent
running back
Carlos.
starting next season. Okay, well, I think he goes. I don't think I think they tried to experiment to gamble on him for the rest of the year to see if they can get some value on him. He's decent, but honestly, I don't feel like he's been such a game changer as well. You know, I mean, he's a decent back for sure, but yeah, I don't think he's with us next year. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there as well.
Well, I think it'd be a huge mistake if he's not with them because they didn't trade him at the deadline, which gives the implication that they're trying to keep him. He's their best offensive player without Garrett. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to keep a really good running back? Right? Like, at worst case, you use the franchise tag. You can't just let him go for nothing because then you should have taken the 4th round pick that was reportedly available for you from Kansas City.
Right.
Now, who's the guy getting a haircut right now? And is he pissed off that you ended his haircut to spout out some Jet takes?
No. He's one of my clients. He's good. He's good. He understands.
He understands what's happening here. Yep.
Yeah. The frustration of us Jet fans.
Well, Carlos, enjoy your haircut there. All right.
Hey,
you're doing a great
Jake.
job.
By the way, whenever you're in the area, Jacksonville, Gainesville, you gotta let me know so you can come get a free haircut.
Well, maybe if there's ever a big Jets-Jags game that matters, not this one, I'll be there. You going Sunday, Carlos? You got to go, right?
No, I every time I go, I've gone. I went to go see the Jets last couple times. They was in Jacksonville, and every time I go, they get slaughtered. And I'm just one of those guys where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I just need to watch it on TV and get better results. So it's about an hour away, hour and 20 minutes from where I'm at. So I mean, it would be ideal to go. But some of the fans over there in Jacksonville, they can be pretty rough. I've seen some things in the bathroom that kind of made me wouldn't want to go back in there. Let's say beer cans getting thrown at people with Jet jerseys. I've seen a couple nasty things go down. So I don't know. I'll watch it safely from my house.
Yeah, well, that's probably smart because you're not missing much given the state of affairs for the Jets. Enjoy the cut there, Carlos. Poor guy's been waiting to get his fade done for like 20 minutes as Carlos is talking about. I don't think Breece Hall is going to be back. Anthony Lozerato in the house. He gifted 5 channel memberships.
Jets, Jets.
We're up to 8 memberships that have been distributed during this show. Thank you to Anthony. If you got one from Anthony, make sure you thank him. Supreme Juice has been hammering me in the chat. He says, Sean just cooked you, Jake. Take the L and drop it. Oh, yeah?
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
So I went back and read this guy's comments. All his comments are just making fun of other callers on the show. This guy, Supreme Juice 69. So the guy's a professional troll. Well done. He says, I'm reporting the show to the Better Business Bureau, taking advantage of tards for entertainment purposes. Yeah, good luck with that, Supreme Juice. Good luck with that one. More of your calls right now.
Here comes JJ. He's here to talk about the Jets. He's putting Justin Fields in the Football Hall of Fame. Here comes JJ. You know he's Gary's biggest fan. He loves cornrows and the crappy Wi-Fi. Here comes JJ.
Yo, real quick. So I called in the show and I asked you the other day. I was like, QBs who win the Heisman, do they typically do good in the NFL, or because I feel like they don't? And I went and did some research. And do you know how many QBs that have gone to the NFL since 2000 who have won the Heisman?
Do I know how many QBs went to the NFL that won the Heisman since 2000? No, not off the top of my head.
Yeah. So there's been 19 QBs who have won the Heisman Trophy and went into the NFL. Out of the 19, only 2 of them have actually been to a Super Bowl, but none of them have won a Super Bowl. And the 2 would be Joe Burrow and Cam Newton. But over the history of the NFL, there's actually only ever been 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks who've won the Super Bowl, which is like Roger Staubach and some other guy I forget off the top of my head. So I say that to say winning the Heisman is kind of like the kiss of death for QB. I mean, QBs who win the Heisman don't typically make it to the Super Bowl and usually end up somehow, some way getting injured. If you look at Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, the list goes on and on. So if Mendoza wins the Heisman, I don't know if we should draft him, because I don't know, history is not on the side of Heisman winning quarterbacks. And up until Cam Newton, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks didn't even get drafted in the first round. You look at guys like Tim Tebow, with the exception of have been some, but Tim Tebow comes to mind. There was a guy named Chris Winkie, I believe his name was. I was just going through it and looking at it, and up until about Cam Newton, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks were like 5th round picks or undrafted. So I don't know. I think the Heisman, if you win the Heisman, yes,
the game has changed. College football has changed. Like it's there's never been more passing in college football. Like in the past, like you would have running backs that would always win the Heisman Trophy. Like it very recently has become more quarterback driven. And also,
well, that's not true. I just told you since 2000, there's been 25 Heisman Trophy winning players, and 19 of them have been quarterbacks.
You mentioned Tim Tebow as one of them. Johnny Manziel. It's a lot of running style quarterbacks. The game is different. And also, your point since 2000, to me, it doesn't really matter when we're talking about a handful of quarterbacks that won Super Bowls in total since 2000. Most of them were won by 5 or 6 guys, right? Brady won 7 of them. Peyton Manning and Eli Manning each won 2. Big Ben won 2. Like, you really go through it, there really weren't that many Super Bowls that were available that were not won by the same couple of quarterbacks that won it every year.
Yeah, but only 2, even if you say, if that's the case, only 2 people have made it to the Super Bowl who have won the Heisman, which is Cam Newton and Joe Burrow. The rest of the guys who have won Heismans haven't even made it to Super Bowls.
Okay, but that wouldn't be a reason why I wouldn't draft Mendoza if I think he's the best quarterback. I'm not playing the stats. Oh, he won a Heisman, I can't take him. If they think he's the best quarterback, you draft him. Your arbitrary stat on Heisman winner means they can't win the Super Bowl. Just because they haven't recently doesn't mean they won't.
I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying the odds are not in the favor of the Heisman quarterback winning a Super Bowl, let alone taking your team to a Super Bowl. The odds are more so that they're going to end up being
anyone you draft winning a Super Bowl, because it's really hard to do. That doesn't mean that you don't stop.
Okay, so you think that this means absolutely nothing, that only 2 players in the history of the NFL have been Super Bowl winning and Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks? Only 2. You don't think that means absolutely nothing?
I don't think your stat is an indicator of why I wouldn't draft Fernando Mendoza if I deemed him to be the best quarterback.
I'm just saying, if he wins the Heisman, let's pick Dante Moore. If he doesn't, then we could stick with him. But if he wins the Heisman, let's go to Dante Moore, because, I don't see us being the ones to get it done with a Heisman winning quarterback. I didn't even know this. This is kind of crazy. Did you realize, and you're going to say yes, that Vinny Testaverde won the Heisman back in 1980 something? Did you know that?
I said it yesterday when you called in talking about the Heisman, and
did you also know that Vinny Testaverde has a 55% completion rate and has thrown 267 interceptions versus like 265 touchdowns? So it just further.
So what is your point?
My point is that Heisman winning quarterbacks suck. When you use Vinny Testaverde as like a
Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks don't all suck. Some suck. Some non-Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks also suck. Zach Wilson sucked. He didn't win a Heisman. So what is your point?
Yeah, but okay. So out of the last 19 Heisman Trophy, can I say one last thing?
Data point.
can I say one last thing? Out of the 19 quarterbacks who won the Heisman, there's only really been 3 good football players out of them. Would be
That's just
Lamar
not true.
Jackson.
That's
Hold
just
on.
not true.
Can I tell you the
Jaden
boy?
Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. We just named 3 right there. There's more. Cam Newton. I could keep going. Come on.
You can't. It's too early to tell with Jaden Daniels. It's way too early to tell. I would say Carson Palmer, Cam Newton, and Lamar Jackson. That's it. The rest of them haven't been good. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, the list goes on. Tim Tebow, they all sucked. Robert Griffin III, they all sucked.
Now do first-round quarterback bust percentage in NFL history. Now go do that type of research because you figured out how to use Google and come back to me. You realize it is a crapshoot when you're drafting a quarterback, no matter what their background is. They could be the perfect prospect like Trevor Lawrence, and they could be pretty mediocre in the NFL. Your one data point does not correlate to success or failure for an NFL quarterback based on if they won the Heisman or not. That's my point to you. God, your internet is trash, so we're done with that. And also, using like Vinny Testaverde's numbers when he played in the completely different era. I don't care what Vinny did when he was considered a bust with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I care about what Vinny did in '98 with the Jets when he had the best single season a Jet quarterback's ever had. I care about that more than I do his total career. I mean, JD has the number here, and he's right. It is less than 50% of first-round quarterbacks making it. So you could say, oh, he's a Heisman winner or he's not. I could tell you that if Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman, and he will, if he wins the Heisman and the Jets think he's the best quarterback and they don't pick him because of J.J. Stat, they take Dante Moore instead, that is a poor evaluation process. You know what I mean? Like, that can't be how you're deciding it. Oh, history shows us Heisman Trophy winners haven't won Super Bowls recently. So that doesn't mean that they won't in the future. Come on. Oh, great. Mr. Internet is called back in. Yes, JJ?
I'm not saying that it means that they won't ever win a Heisman. I'm just saying if the history is not on their side, there's only ever been.
History is not on the side of any quarterback you take in the first round. The bust rate is 50% or higher.
Yeah, and I think the bust rate for Heisman winning quarterbacks is even higher than that. Actually, Heisman winners in general don't really do too well in the NFL. There have been some outliers like Herschel Walker and guys like that. But as of late, I mean, if you look at the last 25 Heisman winners, how many of them can you say have actually lived up to the hype in the NFL? And before you guys,
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels has had one season. Joe Burrow has been injury prone almost his entire NFL career. Are we now
going to downplay Joe
How many
Burrow?
full seasons have Joe Burrow played since he's been in the league? He hasn't. How many full seasons has he played?
He's played out of how many seasons? One of them he went to the Super Bowl.
No, I'm saying how many full seasons has he played the entire season?
3 of 5.
That's not very good. Would you agree? That's not very good.
It's not ideal, but when he plays, is he not a top 3 quarterback?
Yes, he is. But and I'm saying even
Joe Burrow. Okay. Would we not kill?
Okay, what about
Joe Burrow as our quarterback?
What about Robert Griffin III, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Tim Tebow? What about all those guys?
Why? So you're just naming quarterbacks that had varying success. If we're just going to play that game, let's just name any quarterback that has ever been picked in the first round.
No, I'm talking about the Heisman, though. I'm just saying the quarterbacks who have won the Heisman.
Your data point makes no difference. There's no correlation between winning the Heisman and success at the NFL level. It's a college award.
There is a correlation. The Heisman winners, the last 25 Heisman winners have sucked. The last 25.
They have not sucked. Do not tell me that Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Cam Newton have sucked. Are there examples of Heisman Trophy winners that didn't have success in the NFL? Obviously, but there's also examples of first-round drafted quarterbacks that just straight up sucked that weren't Heisman winners. One has nothing to do with the other. One has absolutely nothing to do with the other. Josh Rosen sucked. He wasn't a Heisman winner. Zach Wilson sucked. He never won the Heisman. One has nothing to do with the other. You take a quarterback in the first round, there's a 50% chance. You can probably argue it's greater than that, depending on your leniency for who you determine is a bust or not. That player stinks. One has nothing to do with the other. When you're trying to tell me that Joe Burrow has not been successful, or Jaden Daniels because he got hurt this year, we just now forget that he had the greatest rookie quarterback season we've ever seen a year ago. Stop. All you want to do is just argue. Jet up 24. Thank God for this community. In the raffle for 5, Big Fella says Brees is a game-changing back. He's had a difficult time by not having a passing game. Teams can key on him. Brees being let go equals a mistake. And I think they're going to keep him, Big Fella. He's going to go over 1,000 yards for the first time. They didn't trade him. I disagree with Carlos. I think Brees is a really good player who every week teams key in on because the Jets have no passing offense. You get a real quarterback. You get Garrett back next year. You add some improvements to your receiving room. And all of a sudden, I think Brees Hall could continue to showcase his talent. He's a good football player. Sean Bennett wrote in, see, Jake thinks he's better than me, but he's just another guy. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not think I'm better than Sean. I love Sean. He hates me, though.
Sean, he wears batshit crazy glasses. Spikes his football in the toilet. He might be a little drunk. 3D Gary thinks the guy is a midwit. Is that a Cybertruck on his face? Let's ask Sean Sugator.
It's not like that, Jake.
What are you so upset about, Sean?
I don't hate you, Jake.
It sounds like you do.
No, I don't hate you.
You've been ripping me in all your comments here.
Because I'm disturbed a little bit about, how things went. And then I was trying to be, positive about the Jets, with the 98, a yearbook.
Yeah, why did you get mad at me? I told you to sleep next to the 98 yearbook, and then all of a sudden you got mad when I started reading some comments.
No, because it's almost like you were pushing like negative comments to me.
I displayed what the chat was saying, which we do for everyone.
I know, but it's almost like you try to get like this reaction, with me, and it's going to be a negative reaction because how when people drink, what results of that is. So I feel like you are ultimately knowing this, psychologically.
Hey, real quick, Beast Breaker wrote in, shut up, Sean. Go play with your tampons.
You see? I don't give a shit what Beast Breaker thinks. He lives in his mom's attic.
Leon says the 98 yearbook was cool.
Yeah, cool. I know. And I just wanted to say, I wish I was like, as a fan, I wish that we can be positive again. With our team.
Are you blaming me for your drunkenness? Yankees Rock wants to know.
Why is it always about that? Like,
Gator says, here's an idea.
Dude, most of you motherfuckers do shit I don't even know. Like, come on, you come on. Half of you guys smoke pot, do other shit. I don't even know what you do. It's none of my business. But come on, man. You can't fault me for shit. Come on.
Jay says, I smoke weed.
Yeah, like anything that alters your brain chemistry is a drug. So
Anthony says you're way too sensitive.
Okay.
Have you thought about not calling into the show if the chat triggers you, Sean?
No, Jake, it's not that the chat triggers me. It's that like you kind of trigger me.
I trigger you?
Yeah, because I'll try to like display my knowledge on the Jets and try to talk about Jets talk.
Right.
And then it'll be like altered into just like another atmosphere of.
Give an example.
Okay. Jake, I like you, man. I do. But I know what you're doing, okay?
Well, give an example, Sean, because I don't know what I'm doing.
You're trying to, or it's like a salesman, right? Like selling cars, like a car salesman, right? So he'll play up, he'll bargain, he'll will and deal. You know what I mean?
What does hosting a show about the Jets on YouTube have to do with selling cars?
because it's almost in the same atmosphere because you're trying to sell out your image and presentation and your
What
knowledge of football.
what image? My image is I host a show about the Jets. How's that relevant to what you're saying?
Because what I'm saying is like your acknowledgement on football, and what you know.
Right.
And and you're trying to get people aligned with you, to predominantly
Not really. I usually have a guest on. We discuss the news of the day with the team. We give our own opinions. Sometimes I'm solo. I give my own opinion. Then take calls from people like you who give their opinion, and we discuss.
let's be real, Jay. Shades off. It's about fucking selling tickets. It's always been about that.
Tickets?
You know what I mean? It's about making money, Jay.
Who am I selling tickets to, Sean? I don't sell tickets.
Your audience. Let's be real. I'm not stupid, Jake.
My audience.
Games.
I don't sell tickets, Sean.
But you're selling. You're trying to make money on your posts.
I have a used Nissan Rogue though.
Page. Like, all right, let me go back to incognito mode.
A used Nissan Rogue, yes or no? 2018.
I'm not stupid, Jake. I know the game.
Sean, I'm trying to sell you a car.
I'm smart, Jake. I'm not fucking stupid like half your audience. I'm not fucking dumb.
What did my audience do to you?
So don't treat me like I'm a fucking Nimrod. Like Gary wants to say. I'm a half rod, whatever the fuck he wants to say. But truthfully, I'm smarter than you think, Jake. And I've been around the business. So don't act like I don't know anything.
Hey, I'm not quite sure what you're mad at me for, though. You talked about a used car salesman and then selling tickets. I don't sell tickets. I give opinions on a football team.
You know what I mean? Metaphorically, you know what I mean, Jake?
I'm asking you to explain what you mean, Sean. We don't understand what you're saying.
Explain it. Hamburg knows the business.
Chicken Jenkins says this guy is a severe alcoholic.
Hamburger knows the business. You know why he says that? Because he's easily screwed. That's why he says shit like that.
What are you talking about? Who's Hamburger? The caller that calls into my show?
Yeah, Hamburger.
He's a Jet fan who calls in and gives Jets opinions, which is typically what.
Yeah, but he's smart.
About.
He knows about business and how to conduct things.
And what does that have to do with my show?
Because you know how to manipulate people to get to want to know you, want to be on your show, and want to be Patreon.
You call into the show. You.
Yes.
I don't ask you to call in. You call in and then get mad that the chat trolls you because you're sensitive and take it too seriously.
Because they suck.
Because they're trying to mess with you, and then it bothers you.
No, they suck.
And then you get mad at me, and I have no control over what the chat is going to say to you.
No, I don't get more mad at you. I get more mad at them.
And then you claim I'm trying to sell tickets. I don't have any tickets to sell. I don't work for the Jets. I've told people to cancel their season tickets. The Jets don't deserve your money, Sean. So stick that 98 yearbook up your ass and stop blaming me for your problems.
Jake, what are you talking about?
You're mad at me for things I can't control.
Your problems are my problems.
I don't think so. My problems have nothing to do with you.
You know why? Because we're all Jet fans and we're all fucking stuck in this shit up to here. So we share the same bullshit problems.
Beastbreaker says, Sean, you just went full retard, brah.
Beastbreaker, retard is you should be like, all right, if they have like retard in the dictionary, your picture would be on it, like the side of it. Like, come on, man. I'm not trying to be mean, man.
Well, you kind of called half the chat stupid before. You should apologize to everyone.
Because it's like people need to get realization.
Leon with a good comment here. Come on, Sean. You have cool hair. Relax. Be a cool drunk. Enough of the angry drunk stuff.
I'm not trying to be angry drunk. I started out the call pretty cool, and I was been like trying to be, what's that word? Because I never use it. Because I don't believe it. Not depressed or anything. Like, but anyway, like,
I'm worried
Jake,
about you, Sean.
I know you, Jake, man. You get into my minds, man. My girlfriend even said, you watch so much Jake Asman. I had Jake in my dreams. Like, for real.
You're dreaming about me, Sean?
No, my girlfriend.
Oh, really? Well, you should invite her on the show.
No, I put her that I watched so much Jake Asman that but whatever, man. Jake, let's not come on, man. All right. I love you, Jake. All right.
I love you too,
wanna
Sean.
Be honest?
What would you like me to do? I'm not really sure why you're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the whole life agenda of how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to.
I don't tell you how to act or how you're supposed to be. You call into a Jets YouTube show.
No, I mean by the audience.
The
I don't
audience
mean like
makes fun of you
general.
because you typically call in drunk. If you called in sober, I bet they wouldn't make fun of you as much because you wouldn't be saying outlandish things.
Sober? I'm boring when I'm sober.
Well, when you call in drunk, you get mad that people make fun of you. So you pick your poison. Would you rather be boring or made fun of?
Boring, yeah, like the guy with the half. What's his name? But yeah,
Bobby? Is that what you just said?
No, his half face is covered. His eyes are always like. But I mean, I don't know. Whatever it is, man. Jake, you take it as it is, we're gonna be friends. We're not gonna be friends. I don't know.
Did you just call David T boring?
Yeah, he is boring.
I think he's joyful.
Joyful to like an like an 89 neurotic like cancer patient.
Sean, I hate to do this to you, but how dare you go after David T?
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
At first, I thought Sean was talking about Bobby when he did like the hat pointed down because Bobby wears his hat that's covering his face. But when it became clear that he was talking about David T, we will not stand for such a thing. Hey, Gary, you were right, by the way, calling Sean a midwit. That was a good assessment.
I never called Sean a midwit. What? Yeah,
Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
All right, home stretch here. How do we top that one? No idea, but we'll try.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Just wanted to start off. Carlos the Barber is not on the line, is he?
He's not.
Damn. Okay, next time he's on, I have a question I want to ask him. It takes a lot for me to lose my appetite, but boy, hearing Sean, I lost my appetite. I can't even eat.
Sean, I think, inspired a lot of people to not drink, so that's good.
Anyways, did you listen to Aaron Glenn's press conference today?
I didn't hear the full thing. I did see some of the short clips from it that were on social media.
I heard the whole thing, and to me, he reverted back to the old Glenn of being combative with the reporters a little bit. Not as bad as he was in the beginning of the year, but yeah, I think he regressed back to the mean when it came to his old ways of uh, giving the press conference. So hopefully that was just a one-time thing. And yeah. Anyways, I actually like Martinez back in training camp, so I'm actually glad he's back as the number 2 behind Cook, which is wild to think those are our first and second quarterbacks going in to this next game. So that's should be a lot of fun. Also with the mock draft from Fields, that's 2 straight NFL personalities that are saying the Jets are trading up to the number 1 pick for Mendoza. I mean, I'm sure those 2 are not going to be the only ones saying the Jets are going to move up. It's just a matter of how far they have to move up and what do they think they're going to have to give up to get their quarterback. Because almost every single one between now and once the draft happens, they're pretty much all going to say that the Jets are going to get a quarterback.
Well, I mean, connect the dots, right? The Jets are the team that obviously needs a quarterback, and they're one of the few teams that has extra draft picks based on the trades they've made. So if you're doing any mock, it's very easy to come up with a trade package for the Jets to move up, because right now the 2 teams, or the team that has the number 1 pick, is the Giants, and they don't need a quarterback. Just like a couple weeks ago when we did the mock, it was the Titans who were moving up in a trade, or moving back in a trade with the Jets coming up for their number 1 pick. So most of the mocks right now, if there's a team that already has a quarterback picking up top, you're going to connect the dots and have the Jets be the team that's going to make a move.
Yeah. You had a good caller. Ryan was really good this morning too. Sorry I couldn't really talk too long. I was at an appointment, so I really couldn't, talk as much and talk as loud because there was other people there. That would have been a little awkward. But,
how did it go, Chuck Wagon? Was your appointment successful?
Tests are inconclusive. I have to go back.
Well, I hope everything's okay.
It is. They are. Not serious, but still. Yeah. Just probably will go back next week.
Well, good luck, Chuck Wagon.
Thanks.
Yeah! All right, home stretch. Counting raffle names as we speak. Knobcraft says, can you tell Sean there's no crying in baseball? Knobcraft also wrote, why does Sean sound like he's going to go sit in a garage with the car running? For those just tuning in, please rewind for context. James B is next on our show. Hello, James.
Hey, Jake. Correct me if I'm wrong, but David seems like the type of person who would never harm a fly. That was a little out there, that that little attack.
Are you channeling your inner David T with this angle for your call?
Oh no, phone's just up close right now. I'm not feeling the greatest. I've been working night shifts.
You taking a shit right now? What are you doing?
No.
No.
I can next time though for you.
I'll pass on that, but appreciate the offer.
The Phillip Rivers though, that opens the door. That opens the door for all of us. Now, I mean, I just looked it up. Chad Pennington's only 4 years older than Phillip Rivers, so someone's got to get on the phone with Chad and tell him, hey, if Phillip Rivers can come back at this age, we need you, buddy. And I think his shoulder has enough time to, really heal and strengthen. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, thank you, Jake. Appreciate you.
James, thank you. I can't help myself. Hey, look who called back in. It's our guy, Captain Comedy, Sean. Yes, Sean?
You know what, Jake?
Yes, Sean.
Okay. This is how I feel right now. From all the comments that were sent to me, all the negative stuff, you know what I mean? This is how I feel right now, right?
Tell us.
Okay. Fuck you. I'm out. Bitches. Fuck you.
Anything else, Sean? Very salient points there. Sean, my advice to you would be put the bottle down, you drunk fuck. Anyway, more of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. Gary is on the line. Yes, Gary?
Oh, that's my bad. I was just watching. I didn't really have anything to add. I was watching another screen. I didn't really have nothing. You took my call earlier with Parles. I didn't really have nothing.
Do you think Sean should stop drinking, Gary?
Yeah, I think I like Sean. Sean, I never called you a midwit. Sean, I like you. Sean, I think you're a good guy. Sean, you should stop drinking. And that just doesn't go for Sean. That basically goes for everyone, right? But you seem to struggle with it more than others. I would advise you to stop drinking, for whatever my 2 cents are worth. But I think you're a good guy. I never called you midwit. I think that goes for everyone, though, right? I don't see any upside. I don't understand drinking. I don't get it.
Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote.
All right, home stretch here. Our final caller is none other than the big fella. Hit it.
He's home, his bed is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bed is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. Calls the show, his bed is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the jets, super jets. Where's a big fella? Sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Where's a big fella?
Hey man, what's up?
Hey big fella. I guess you
shit,
wanted to try
I
and
can't
talk
hear
to
you.
Sean. You don't hear me?
Damn it! I'm gonna have to restart or something like that.
Let me bring my tech guy on.
What's wrong there, What's wrong there, Chief? Are you all right? Big fella, you all right?
I think we might have lost him, Beast.
Shit. All right, he's gonna.
Oh, here we go.
We got him.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Good job,
Very
Beast. Beast
I can
did
hear
it
Beast, I
again.
can't hear Jake though.
Beast tech support.
God damn it!
Do you hear me?
I can't hear you, man. God damn it! All right, bye.
All right, we'll try this again. Beast, how you doing?
Good. I didn't like what that guy was saying. That chemical moron. That's another day's work. Another waste of political space. We don't know where the garbage goes. But oh man, I don't see it for next year for baseball. I don't see anything happening. For you guys, who you guys thinking about getting next year for the Yankees? Who you looking at?
I think the Yankees need to hopefully re-sign Cody Bellinger, but they haven't done that yet.
Well, how much cap space do you guys got for the Yankees?
Unlimited. There is no cap in baseball.
Oh, so you guys are the biggest. Well, you guys are the biggest team in professional sports, and
They used to be. The Dodgers are that now.
I've heard. Yeah,
They buy everyone, Beast.
Well, LA has been the hot talk for quite some time now, and New York has been the
Have you been to LA?
No, I wish. Unfortunately, I've heard how LA is not so good right now. Not the way things are right now. I'd say
What do you think is better, the global studio headquarters or anywhere in Los Angeles?
well, as long as I got safe space and I got everything under control, that's fine with me.
The
Nice.
big fella joins us now.
Hey, now I can hear you. Yeah, good.
All right, looking like James Hetfield today. Going.
I don't know about that. I've been like, what's the word? I've been following the Sean saga, bro, and
He got really mad. I don't know what exactly set him off today.
I don't either. That's the thing. I mean, the chat says stuff all the time. You know, I think he would be better if he called in sober, to be honest, because you know he's like, oh, I'm boring and stuff like that. Oh, maybe that's better. You know, maybe that's better for him for the time being. You know, I don't know. Some of the stuff he said was out of pocket. You know, and calling you out and stuff like that. That was bullshit. But
he says I was selling tickets, and I'm still trying to figure out what tickets I'm selling.
What tickets are you selling? the 3-ring circus, and then I guess tickets to the circus. I don't know. I don't know. That was a wild, conversation, and him saying "fuck you" at the end. It's like, what? You can't end on that. You have to end on more. You want to be positive. You don't end with that, dude. You got to show respect, regardless, because it's your show. It's not his show.
Well, what's funny is he was complaining that he wasn't getting as much airtime, and I gave him plenty of airtime today. And I just think the more airtime he had, the bigger hole he dug himself.
Yeah. I mean, if you want the airtime and stuff like that, I don't know, make valid points and stuff like that instead of throwing footballs in the toilet, bro.
He's inspired me. I'm going to try and come up with some sort of ticket operations business because clearly there's tickets to be sold to something.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, if you weren't manipulating conversations and stuff like that, the show would be boring as fuck. So no, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, it is what it is. It's entertainment, and it's a Jet show, and you do a great job. And the chat is great. Sometimes they get a little out of hand, but people are people, and to go after David T, that's a low blow there, man.
That's where we had to draw the line, send his ass to the hole.
Yeah, David T is one of the best people that you can meet, and I didn't get a chance to meet him down in Florida. I wish I did. It was one of the things I regret. I didn't get to.
None of us got to meet David T. He's still looking for the tailgate where we were at.
Right. Too much fireball, man. It was too much fireball that day. It was too damn hot. But David T's great, and you can't go after David T. That's a cardinal sin in this world of Asmania. So I don't know. I was going to give him a little counseling because he seemed like he needed it, and I may have a new patient, but we'll see. And that's it.
An outstanding call by the big fella. Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking about stand. Oh, yeah. Hey, Beast, you ready for the raffle?
We about ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
counted
ladies
all the
and gentlemen,
names.
let's get this going here.
All right.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for, it is time to spin the wheel of champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, a Jets jersey is on the line. You pick the legend that you want the jersey in. Your choices are Keyshawn, Nick Mangle, Darrell Revis, Wayne Corbett, Curtis Martin, Joe Klecko, and Broadway Joe Namath. If you win, you got to email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, your name, your address, the size you want the jersey in, and the player you want the jersey in. Good luck to all. Only one can win. Although I just realized, Knob Craft, I didn't get your entry in as I was looking this over. So, Knob, if you win, you're welcome. Because I just remembered just in the nick of time. All right. On that note, here we go. One spin to determine the winner. If you win, reach out to me and we'll make sure we get that jersey ordered for you immediately. Good luck. But your raffle prize winner for today's show is Jets Dog. Woof, woof, woof. Jets Dog in the Asmaniac raffle. And Jets Dog is your winner. I believe Jets Dog is the listener that I gifted. That's right. How about that? I gifted a membership earlier, and it went to Jets Dog. So, Jets Dog, email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. Woof, woof. This is for you. Woof, woof, woof. How about that? Love that. Again, great show. Thank you to everyone who called in besides Sean. Please seek help. You guys are the best. Thank you to Jeff Parles for joining us for the first hour. We're back tomorrow. I'm filling in for Michael Kay on ESPN New York from 1 to 3. So tomorrow's first show will start at 9 a.m. as opposed to our usual 10 a.m. slot. So I'm in tomorrow from 1 to 3 on ESPN. So we'll start with O'Leary at 9, give you a full show, and then I will do radio from 1 to 3. And I'm planning on still doing a second afternoon show tomorrow, but TBD on that. Most likely we'll do it. We have DT, Dylan Terraman, as our scheduled guest for that one. I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I leave you all with a clip that needs to be played. JETS, 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 Jets. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Well, first of all, I'm not a trade you, asshole.
Yeah, you are. You are.
You're a fucking asshole, too. So
you, asshole. Watch your fucking mouth.
That's the end of that rumble. Jesus. Oh, my God.
We're more likable than you fucking old cunt.
Fuck yourself, you piece of
Go
shit.
fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
Well, that escalated quickly. Jesus. Come on, gentlemen.
My mother wants to know who I'm talking to. I'm on StreamYard, Mom. I'm on YouTube.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
Charles, you're the best, dude. I can't. Mom, the meatloaf.
The meatloaf!
Mom, meatloaf.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.